Why do so many holistic practitioners struggle with marketing? That's the question for today. This is Tad Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, feel free to click the subscribe button down below. And then there's a little bell icon. If you click on that, you'll be notified when videos come up. And if you're watching this on Facebook, feel free to like my page. And of course, share this video if you find it useful. So why do holistic practitioners struggle so much with marketing? Fundamentally, it's because holistic practitioners struggle with niching. But why do they struggle with niching so much? This was a question somebody emailed me. They said, I wonder if part of the problem is that holistic practitioners by nature and by training look at the big picture, and therefore it can be difficult to focus down on specific issues. Okay, so let's break this down. So first of all, one of the big reasons that holistic practitioners struggle with marketing in general is because it's never taught in the schools or the colleges. I mean, it's understandable. It's a whole other curriculum. And so most holistic practitioners I know, we talk often about how medical doctors get no education in nutrition. The corollary there is holistic practitioners get no education in marketing. And so they leave with all this knowledge in a particular modality, but without any awareness of how to get the word out about it, how to be found, how to get clients. So there's that. And when you go through these colleges, it's, of course, we leave kind of enamored with the modality, but also the point of view, the philosophy that we learn from it. And we just want to share it with everyone. In permaculture, they call it the wet dog syndrome, where you get wet, and covered, saturated with all this new knowledge, and then you get out and you just shake it excitedly over everyone. And of course, this is the new vegan, who gets home and now is trying to convert their family at Thanksgiving dinner, or, the idea. There's nothing like the zeal of the newly converted. And so I think this understandably happens. You go through this kind of education, you leave kind of mind blown, and you just want to tell everyone about everything. But of course, that doesn't work that well, as you may have discovered. So when we talk about niching for a service, which is what the holistic practices are fundamentally, here's the core metaphor. Your ideal clients are on island A, where they're struggling because they have some symptoms that they don't like, that are very painful for them. They want to be on island B, where there's some result that they're craving. Yeah. So island A, symptoms, bad symptoms, they don't like it, it's painful. Island B, there's a result they're craving. And island A is probably the site of a breaking point, a tipping point in some way. Something's happened where they're now, I have to do something about this, for the ideal clients. And your business is like a boat that could take them from one island to the other island, from island A to island B, from their symptoms and pain to the results that they're craving. So this is really important because nobody gives a shit about your boat. That's the most blunt way I can say it. We get so excited about whether it's, trauma work. I'm just looking at my health books here. Whether it's whole foods or trauma work or cold showers or intermittent fasting or you name it. People get very excited about that particular boat, or the philosophy that guides it. And that's all we talk about. But of course, people don't understand how that's relevant to them. And relevance is the main thing. When we're talking about marketing, there are three filters that people put everything we put out through. First is relevance, second is credibility, third is value. So relevance meaning, is this going to help me get off island A? Will it help me get to island B? Credibility, do I trust you? Value, is it a good deal? And that first one, the R, relevance, this is the most important thing for holistic practitioners to begin to contend with, because so often, so much of the marketing I see is utterly irrelevant to anybody, or relevant to everybody, but at this extremely shallow kind of level. So yes, we do. Of course, people who are into the holistic arts and healing arts have a sense of the big picture, but here's the twist. You want to be able to give people the big picture of a very specific small journey. The big picture of a very specific journey from island A to island B. Because, the truth is, if you were the only holistic practitioner in town and there was only one other doctor in town, well, then it's a really clear choice for people, right? Do they go with the allopathic medicine, or do they go with the holistic medicine? Do they go with the drugs and the chemicals, or do they go with the herbs and the dietary stuff. But it's not that simple anymore. If it were that simple, sure, it would be a pretty clean choice. But now there are medical doctors, there's integrated doctors, there's all sorts of different forms of medicine, there's tons of holistic modalities, and people are overwhelmed. They don't know which one to pick. There's so many boats in the harbor at this point. And sometimes people come to the harbor knowing which boat they want to pick, but then they start talking to somebody and then, oh, there's a different kind of boat that will get me to that same island faster. So people are trying to find something relevant to them, and that's going to be some unique constellation of what you do, how you do it, where you do it, when you do it, for whom you do it, why you do it. But I really want to focus on the who, because in most cases, the when and the where, that's handled in a certain town during the regular work hours. And the what's handled, because there's the modality, that's what you do. The how is a very interesting piece, but not the one I want to focus on now. The why can be very compelling, but I don't want to focus on that. I want to focus on the who, because this is one of the easiest pivot points and turning points for holistic practitioners. So what do you do in terms of figuring out your niche as a holistic practitioner? Good question. I'm glad you asked. So just to rewind, why do holistic practitioners struggle with marketing? Fundamentally because they're struggling with the niche. Why do they struggle with the niche? Well, for all those reasons. What might we do? Here are some thoughts. First of all, this, I swear to God, this handles it for 80-90% of the holistic practitioners I work with. Jeffrey Van Dyke, one of my colleagues, said, your deepest wounds are often a doorway to your truest niche. So this is the question. What is it that you've had to overcome and have overcome health-wise, whether it's emotional health, physical health, spiritual health? What's the biggest thing that you've overcome, that you could then help people with? I did a puttering session, a one-on-one session with a woman, and she was a Ayurvedic nutritionist. So that's the boat. You understand? That's the boat, Ayurvedic nutrition. And she was saying, well, I was trying to figure out my niche. So the niche, who's on Island A? Who is this person? She said, I don't know. Maybe female entrepreneurs, maybe, I don't know, soccer moms. Everything she was giving seemed so irrelevant to just no connection to the boat. And finally I said, well, what got you into Ayurvedic nutrition? And she said, oh, I had fibromyalgia really bad and it ruined my life. And I tried every other thing. I tried a lot of different boats. All of them eventually just took me back to Island A. And then I discovered Ayurvedic nutrition, and that boat got me from Island A to Island B. I have no symptoms anymore. Yeah. So there was another woman I worked with, and she has one of these cryo chamber things where you go and you minus 3,000 degrees or something for 30 seconds, and we were talking about all the different target markets, the ideal clients you might have, and there were a lot. And finally I said, what got you into this? It's such a weird business to have, frankly. She laughed. She said, well, my brother had rheumatoid arthritis really, really bad. And this was the only thing that helped, and it was a miracle for him. And so, of course, she got into it. So you understand what I'm saying. The boat cryotherapy, one of the journeys that you could help people on. Now, you can have more than one, but for simplicity's sake, one of the target markets she could have is people with rheumatoid arthritis, or a little more broadly, people with chronic kind of inflammatory conditions. Yeah. So that's the first thing. Your deepest wound is probably a doorway to your truest niche. What is it that got you into this? What did it help you overcome? That's probably where you have the easiest credibility in terms of a niche. And then in terms of, let's say you pick it. So let's say you say, okay, we're going to focus on fibromyalgia. So Ayurvedic nutrition, helping people with fibromyalgia. You say, but it's so much more. God, I don't want to just focus on this one thing. Okay, here's what you can do. Help them see the big picture in the small thing. It's a kind of prismatic understanding. There's that Pink Floyd album cover, Dark Side of the Moon, where you see the light, clear light going into a prism, and then it comes out refracted, all the colors of the rainbow. So it's like the culture goes in, and you can't see the culture directly, but then it's refracted through this prism, and all of a sudden you can see all the constituent parts that the culture's made up of. So yeah, of course they don't know. Of course it's the big picture is invisible to them. Well, instead of trying to have them see the big picture all at once, the big picture in everything in an abstract, disconnected, disincarnated, disembodied, theoretical way, why not use the particular Island A and say, do you see how with this island, there's the whole culture. There's all the reasons. This is the big picture in the small. R and Daddy Roy wrote that book I haven't read, but the title is so beautiful, The God of Small Things. Yeah, help them find God in the small things. Maybe that's the only place that God appears, is in small things. And when we try to go just so big, well, you see what I'm saying. So the symptoms, this island A can kind of become a doorway, in other words, a doorway through which you can introduce them to a much bigger thing. And by the way, they may come to you for fibromyalgia, and then they mention they've got some other health issues, and there's nothing in the world to stop you from working with them more. To say, oh, well, I could also help you with that. I could help you with the digestive disorders. I could help you with the skin condition. If you feel competent and confident doing it, no reason not to. But niche is the thing that gets them in the door. The relevance is the thing that gets them in the door. So you want to figure out what the island A is. And then you can be referring out to others, because you may find that people say, well, I've got this health condition too. You say, you know what, I don't feel that competent. Great, you refer to other people. And then those people you're referring to, they start to understand, oh, this person's really good at this island A, fibromyalgia. So we refer people to them for that. And now you get this really rich, abundant ecosystem where everyone's referring to other people for the things that they know that the other person can best help them with. And this is a much better idea than trying to be everything to everybody, because that's one of the big reasons that holistic practitioners fail and struggle in marketing and struggle in their niching, is because they're still trying to be everything to everybody. Yeah, and as I said in one of my videos recently, freedom in niching is a trap. This I'll be everything to everybody, that is a trap. It sounds like freedom, but it's actually a dungeon. Anyways, I hope that's helpful. If you're a holistic practitioner watching this, share this with your friends. Maybe it'd be useful. But also put your comments and questions below, because maybe your comment or question will turn into another video that I do. So hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully that addresses the question in some way. And see you down the road.